In this video, I'll be testing Keyboard Render Kit to Keyshot workflow. I'm not familiar with Keyshot, so this may not be as efficient as it could be. The first thing I'm going to do is choose a board in which to test out. Let's go with that one. And I'd like to try out the new profile. There we go. One more thing, let's add a USB cable and plug it in. Okay, that's looking good. There. Now we have our keyboard ready to export to Keyshot. First, disable some of the collections that you don't need. Mainly the scene collection, which has the lights and floor in it. And also the Switch UI collection. There we go. Now let's go ahead and select all of this. File, Export, FBX. Only the selected objects. Export. Now let's hop over to Keyshot and import our model. There's some options in here, but I'll leave them at default. One of the things that surprised me was that even the cable, which is a NURBS curve, came over. Let's go ahead and apply some materials. First, let's start with the case. Give it a metal anodized, rough anodized. There we go. And for the keycaps, let's give them a plastic, hard plastic, just rough hard plastic. There we go. And you'll notice that there are no legends on here yet. So let's go ahead and add that texture in. I've already imported the legends texture, so let's go ahead and throw it on there. And it looks great. Okay, maybe not. What we're seeing here is that the whole thing is being applied to each keycap, which is not what we want. This is what happens when we don't have any coordinates set for the texture to know where to go. So let's look in that material and check on that texture, and we can see that the mapping type by default is set to box mapping, which means it projects from all angles, which is not something we want. Let's switch that over to the UV, which it has a UV, so let's use it. There we go. Now the legends are in place, but we can see that they're just black and white. Now that material that I applied there was a white material, so it's getting its color from the legend itself. But we'd like to use that in a different way. So let's go ahead into the material graph and use this texture map as something different. Right click and add a color composite node, and instead use that black and white image as the source alpha. Then plug it back into the diffuse. Now we have a complete material. I can close this, and we can see that there are color options now. So the source is the legend color, so let's give it a legend color, maybe something dark green. There we go. And with the keycap, let's give that a color as well. How about some sort of light gray blue or something. There we go. All right. Now what we need to do is grab one of these keycaps and unlink the material. And what that does is it creates a new material with the same name. This one is called Rough Hard Plastic Gray 1, and we have Rough Hard Plastic Gray 2. And let's find out which is which. Go ahead and edit the color for that and give it maybe a pink. There we go. We can tell which one it is. It's the control key. Okay, we'll give that sort of a pink color and this sort of a purplish color in the gray range, kind of pastel. That'll have to do. Now I just learned this. We can shift left click on that to pick up the texture, and shift right click in order to put it down on another keycap. So let's go ahead and apply that where we want it. Good. That's somewhat what we want. Okay, let's move on to the cable here. Let's find a material for that. How about cloth and leather and nylon or cloth weave? There we go. I'm going to drag that on there. And again, we can see that there's a box map on here, so it looks a little wonky on the sides here. Not the way I would keep it. So let's go ahead and fix that as well. Grab our curve and edit the material, and we can see it has weave for the diffuse and specular here. Let's go into the texture and have a look at the mapping type, and again it's a box map, so we want that to be UV, and we'll do the same for each of these other textures. Now it's looking very stretched, and that's not what we want either. So these are linked together, so I'm going to unlink it and set that to maybe 0.01. And already we can tell there's more repetition here. Let's do 0.001. There we go, that's plenty. And what that does is now it's repeating 1,000 times. Now let's try that for the height, which is in this case the distance around the cable. So since we wanted about 3 times around, we can do 0.333 or something like that. How about 0.2? That's 5 times around. Much better. And we can do that for each of these to get what we want. Is that too many? There. And unlink that and do 0.2. Same here. Looks like it's matched for the bump. Good. Now let's set some colors to this. Here we go. There's a warp color. Yellow. What colors were we using before? Blue and purple. Let's try and get something in that range. There we go. And something more in the purple area. Good. And we have one more thing we'd like to add a texture to, a material. That looks like a metal. Okay, where are we? Metal. Aluminum. Let's go for we don't want aluminum. How about a steel? Stainless. Something polished. There, shiny. Nice, it disappeared. Undo. Try one more time. Doesn't like it. Okay. Try something else. Alright. For some reason it doesn't like steel. Let's do a basic. There we go. That'll do. Alright, we have our keyboard and Keyshot. It's looking very very pastel with and odd with a gray case there. Wonder if I can grab that and change it. Edit material. Okay, it's got nothing. How about purple? Alright, add a couple more tweaks here. Not liking that green anymore. Let's edit that. Okay, well, can do this all day. I'll see you in the next video.